enter holy platform, offer prayers. Priest up in arms over forced entry. Alleged takeover bid by Stalin government. Tamil Nadu Temple Row, top focus on 6 p.m. Prime.
Good evening. You're watching 6 p.m. Prime here on India Today. I'm Akshita Nanadagopal, and this evening we're focusing on the big controversy, the big story coming in from Tamil Nadu. It's been long brewing, the showdown between the Dikshitars, or the priests of the iconic Chidambaram Nataraj temple, and the DMK government. What's it all about? What's playing out in Tamil Nadu? We'll tell you in just a bit. Let's take a look at the headlines first. BJP IT cell chief Amit Malviya booked over animated Rahul Gandhi video. FIR filed after Karnataka Congress complained. BJP calls it political vendetta. Union Minister Smriti Irani tears into Rahul Gandhi, questions why Rahul met George Soros' aide in the United States, alleges Rahul's link to Soros and Jamiat Islami. Big twist to Karnataka freebie fight after FCI stalled rice sale. Karnataka government to now offer cash instead of rice. Politics over India-US drone deal. Congress likens predator drone deal to the Rafale. Navy chief exclusively speaks to India Today.
इससे क्या है, हमारा एरिया ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को अच्छी तरह सर्वेलेंस और रिकग्निशंस कर सकते हैं. नया वाला प्रेडेटर 9B में होगा, तो जब वो आएगा तो हमारा कैपेबिलिटी डेफिनेटली बढ़ेगा.
Politics erupt over ODI World Cup. Congress up, fume over no matches in Kerala and Mohali. The BCCI VP Rajiv Shukla says ICC decides these venues. And sensational revelations on COVID origin. Researcher claims virus was made in China as a bioweapon. A fresh row has broken out in Tamil Nadu, once again stoking the entire temples under the Tamil Nadu government control controversy. This is the Chidambaram Nataraja temple in Cuddalore, which is not under government control. And there was a controversy that broke out as devotees were reportedly not being allowed to one particular part of the temple, a golden platform in the temple. What led to, in fact, what prompted that was cops and HRC officials going aboard that particular area, leading to a showdown. Let's get you all the details.
This is how cops and officials from the Tamil Nadu government stormed into the sacred Chidambaram Natarajan temple in Cuddalore. What you see on your screens is the moment officials entered the Kannagasabha, or the holy platform of the temple, which was closed off for devotees by the priests of the temple for 4 days. Officials entered the platform, offered prayers, and then ensured other devotees could enter amid protest by angry Dikshitars, the priests who managed the temple. The priests of the Chidambaram temple accused the officials of manhandling young boys and entering the platform. And when asked why they had blocked devotees, they cited security reasons, saying with the expensive jewellery kept in the area, they did not want to take a chance. Devotees now are entering the temple's holy golden platform as Dikshitars then allowed entry.
Both the Dikshitars claim that they are already armed with the court order that says that the governing authority of this particular temple comes under them. But the HRNC went ahead and said that such decisions cannot be taken only by the Podidikshidars, and they have to discuss about it with the HRNC board, and that turned out to be a huge issue.
The DMK has defended their action, assuring that the temple will very soon be brought under government control. A step they have been trying hard to accomplish but have faced legal hurdles.
சட்டப்படி பக்தர்கள் சுதந்திரமாக இறை வழிபாட்டிற்கு அனைத்து உதவிகளையும் இந்து சமய அறநிலையத்துறையும் அரசும் செய்யும். இதில் யார் பெரியவர்கள் என்பது பிரச்சனை அல்ல. இறை என்பர்களுக்கு தேவையான தெய்வத்தை வழிபடுவதற்குண்டான அனைத்து ஏற்பாடுகளையும் செய்து தருவதுதான் எங்களுடைய நோக்கம்.
The fight quickly turned political as the BJP lashed out at the Stalin government, accusing the government of hurting Hindu sentiments.
There are issues. Even the court already had ordered that the temple should be taken, can be taken by the HRNC. But let Modi consider this and bring in a uniform civil code within Hinduism.
There is a very, very clear Supreme Court order that this temple should be under the Dikshidars' control. And whatever the government of Tamil Nadu doing is unconstitutional. That is what we have been saying.
The DMK versus Dikshitars fight for control of the historic Chidambaram temple is turning uglier by the day. While the DMK has accused priests of mismanagement and being casteist, the Dikshitars have repeatedly fought off what they call attempts of a temple takeover by the government. With Pramod Madhav in Cuddalore, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let me take this across to Pramod Madhav. He's joining us live from outside the Natarajar temple in Cuddalore, the very iconic temple in Tamil Nadu. Pramod, good evening. What's the situation currently? Have things calmed down? Because there were protests that broke out subsequently after this video came to light.
Good evening, Akshita. In fact, we are inside the temple currently, and let me show you the ambience at this temple right now. This is called the temple of Thillai Nadarajar, and this temple is nearly 1,000 years old. This carries a history of the Choras, the Pandyas, and various kings. There are like different sabais here. One sabai called Kanaka Sabai is the one that is causing the issue. There is Sid Sabai. There are lingams that is made up of spardigam and ruby, and so many things are there. In fact, in Tamil it is called as Chidambaram Ragasyam, which means the secret that Chidambaram holds. Everything is inside this temple, and here we are showing you this complex currently with these thousands of pillars at this spot. And yes, there is a big issue, but the Dikshitars very clearly mentioned that they have the Supreme Court order in their hand, and for the day, devotees are allowed to climb atop the Kanaka Sabai, which is one of the five sabais called as the golden platform. It's nothing but a kind of like a platform like this, where people will climb atop and they will pray to Lord Nataraja, who will be on that side. And this is where the issue came up. Here, what happened is that the Dikshitars on one end said that they decided to go ahead and do so because after 1,000 years of taking care of the temple, they knew what exactly would happen, and they cannot control the crowd. They said that a minimum of 50,000 people would visit on those particular 4 days, and that's the reason devotees were not allowed. But HRNC officials have taken offense of it, and they claim that such decisions cannot be taken by them alone, and they have to discuss it with the HRNC, and that's the reason the minister gave such a kind of interview. But he went a little far ahead and also said that HRNC is going out doing all things to take control of the temple. But how will they do that is the question, because both the Dikshitars fall under a community called as denomination community, because they are only 1,300 in number, and it has been recognized by the Supreme Court as per the Dikshitars, and they have said that no matter what HRNC will do, they will keep fighting their legal battle, Akshita.
And legally, the problem is that the Supreme Court order is in favor of the Dikshitars, which is why there's a big showdown right now over this temple. Thanks, Pramod, for getting us that detailed ground report. Pramod reporting there from the spot where all of the controversy has broken out. Let me introduce our guests joining us on this broadcast. We've got Mr. A. Saravanan, DMK spokesperson. Mr. Narayanan Tirupati of the BJP will be joining us in just a bit. Mr. Saravanan, vanakkam. The Dikshitars have claimed that the officials who are there, the HRNC officials, the cops, manhandled some of them. They're saying that the DMK government is attempting to take over the temple. Your response first to that?
See, the DMK government cannot remain a mute spectator when the Dikshitars take the law into their own hands. Yes, the Supreme Court has passed an order stating that the control of the temple may remain with the Dikshitars. They are free to follow their own religious practices. There is no doubt about that. But when the government is asking about the transparency in the way they manage the funds, the Dikshitars ought to give it to them, ought to give it to the government.
They cite the Supreme Court order. Saravanan, they cite the Supreme Court order repeatedly to say that we are not answerable to the government like several other temples that fall under the HRNC department.
See, Supreme Court did not give them the right to marry off children. The Supreme Court did not give them the right to discriminate between different castes in the Hindu religion.
No, so
this is why we are saying, Mr. Modi, please stop talking about uniform civil code. Please talk about uniformity within the Hindu religion. DMK is a party which is fighting for the oppressed Hindus. And what these Pudu Dikshitars are doing, they say this is off the limits for some people. People belonging to certain castes. See,
one second.
Akshita, just a moment. Just a moment. Let me complete this. This is a phenomenon seen across the country. We are seeing Madam Draupadi Murmu, the first citizen of this country, standing outside the temple, and we are seeing Dharmendra Pradhan and Ashwini Vaishnav getting into the touching the idols and giving their worships. This is how people are discriminated in this country in the name of religion. This is what we are opposing, and we will not allow anybody to flout the law. Article 26, yes, gives them a right. That does not mean that they can violate Article 14, Article 15 and Article 16.
So let's talk about what's happened. Let's talk about what's happened in the temple itself, Saravanan. The Dikshitars have said very clearly that it was closed for 4 days. And this is because of the fact that in the Kanaka Sabha itself, there are a lot of jewels kept there. They feared that the crowds would come in large numbers, then security would be an issue. It's not a year-long thing. It's not permanent. There isn't a section of people that weren't allowed or a section of people that were allowed in the Kanaka Sabha for you to say that, there's casteism, that, Hindus are being oppressed.
Yes, see, when you speak about security, when there is a huge congregation, it is not the responsibility of the Podu Dikshitars. It is the responsibility of the state government. They ought to have listened, they ought to have got the advice of the state government and how to go about it. They do not hang in.
But is this the way to do it? Is this the way to do it? You know how sacred a temple is. Is this the way to do it? To have cops and everyone entering?
Yeah, that is how, when you want to maintain law and order, when you want to maintain the safety and the life of the priests, the life of the devotees are very important. They are more sacrosanct than anything else. Life of a Hindu, life of a citizen of this country is more sacrosanct than anybody else.
Okay, you're saying what action was taken was warranted. Narayanan Tirupati of the BJP is joining me on this broadcast. Mr. Narayanan Tirupati, Saravanan is saying this action was warranted. To speak up and stand for Hindus, we had to take this step.
No, this is an unwarranted, unwanted, unnecessary, unconstitutional approach of the Tamil Nadu government and the police. The HRNC department, the government doesn't have any right to enter inside the temple, that too with a huge police force. Hundreds of policemen unnecessarily barging into the temple, creating a huge confusion, conflict, and they were trying to intimidate the Dikshitars who have the right to do puja and who have the right to manage the temple. The Supreme Court's judgment is very, very clear about this temple, and in spite of that, in order to take control of that temple, the minister as well as the other officials of the Tamil Nadu government has very clearly violated, the rights of the temple and also of
No,
the
the defense, the DMK is saying, Mr. Narayanan Tirupati, that first there are only some Hindus that are allowed up, others aren't, that these kind of practices by these Podu Dikshitas cannot be allowed, that the government has a certain responsibility to Hindus, to the people who want to go there and pray.
See, absolutely not. They are at fault. Mr. Saravanan is definitely not telling the facts. The fact of the matter is that the festival, which is there for at least 1 week's time, what do you call this? This place is just a 10 by 2 small room. So in this place, definitely hundreds or thousands of men cannot go inside, and if they are allowed, they have to stand a very big queue. The entire Chidambaram town would have been in a very big traffic jam. So that is the reason. Then normally in all the temples, you have the main deity will stay there, and only the other deity will be carried up. But in this issue, the main deity will be going throughout the town of Chidambaram, and the entire main deity has got several lakhs worth of jewels wearing in it. So for security reasons, they don't allow anyone.
So it wasn't discrimination. You're saying it wasn't discrimination. Saravanan, I want your response to the question that the BJP is posing. They're alleging that, there's an attempt by the government to take over this temple. Mr. Shekhar Babu today also said that we'll do everything we need to ensure we take over this temple. Is that fair, considering that the Supreme Court has very clearly said it belongs to these and will be run by these Dikshitars?
Yeah, see, the Supreme Court may have stated that this temple belongs, it does not say it belongs. They'll be maintained by this Podu Dikshita. It was built by Chola kings. And these Dikshitas came there, and the Chola kings have said, okay, please take care of the temple. They are there to maintain the temple, pure and simple.
But so that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. And don't you think, Saravanan, for all the Hindus who are right now objecting, saying that it's not okay, we feel offended, our sentiments are hurt when cops have entered, these sacred parts of the temple in this manner. What's your message to them? They say, why couldn't there have been dialogue? Why couldn't this have been resolved with talk, with conversation, rather than doing it in this manner?
See, the Dikshitars are not reasonable. There were cases earlier, not at this instance. Earlier, there were cases filed against the Dikshitas under the SC/ST Act because they discriminated. So it is not the first time this has happened. And when it comes to law and order, it is the duty of the state government. The simple question is this: when they anticipate so many people, so much of people there, why they have not intimated, why they have not sought the assistance of the local police authorities? So who has started this controversy? It is not the DMK. See, that's what I'm saying. The life of any Hindu, the safety of any Hindu who is visiting the temple is as sacrosanct, is as valuable as anything else.
Okay, all right. So you're saying that you will continue very clearly to take these steps to ensure that every Hindu has a right to pray. That's the message from the DMK right now. But thanks very much, Saravanan and Narayanan Tirupati, for joining us on this broadcast. This is clearly a controversy that will continue to snowball. It's not ending anytime now because the government has made it amply clear in Tamil Nadu that they want to take control of this particular temple as well. So it means that the Dikshitars will continue their fight against the government. I'm slipping into a very short break here on 6 p.m. Prime. Coming up on the other side, we're putting the focus on Mumbai. An orange alert has been issued for heavy to very heavy rains. All through the day, rains have poured down in Mumbai. In the next 3 to 4 days, it's going to continue to rain.
Best colleges of the country. Which one will boost your aspirations? From courses to placements, know them all. India Today Best Colleges Survey 2023. Issue out this Friday, 23rd June. Subscribe now to indiatoday.in/subscribe.
mega merger of HDFC and HDFC Bank will be effective from the 1st of July. According to Deepak Parekh, chairman of the Housing Finance Company, boards of both the companies will hold separate meetings on Friday after office hours to approve the effective date of the merger. He added that HDFC shares would be delisted from the exchanges on 13th of July. As per the share swap ratio, HDFC shareholders will get 42 shares of HDFC Bank for every 25 shares held.
And India is doing extremely well. It's the bright spot in the world. It's the brightest spot in the world. Our GDP growth rate is likely to be twice the global average. 7.2%, which will be twice the global average. So we are confident that our business, now that it goes to the bank, each and every branch of the bank will start selling mortgages, which were not doing prior to this, and so the reach to individuals across urban, semi-urban areas where the branches, HDFC Bank branches are, will start marketing and dispersing mortgage loans. So we expect the growth to increase as there is a huge demand.
That the bank has something like 70 million customers. And out of the 70 million customers, just about 2% of them have taken housing loans from HDFC. Just 2%. And about 5% have taken loans from other banks. So look at the ability in terms of being able to cross-sell housing loans to this massive customer base who have not taken housing loans. Also, the average age of a first-time home buyer in India is about 37, 38 years. And if you look at the demographic trend, 65% of India's population is below 35 years.
Welcome back. It's been a day of non-stop rain in Mumbai. It's brought the maximum city to a halt as waterlogging has been reported in several areas, as you see on your screens. The Met Department now has warned that the rains will continue for the next 4 to 5 days, which is extremely concerning. An orange alert has also been issued. Let me quickly take this across to our reporters, Mustafa Sheikh and Saurabh Vakhtania, joining us live from Mumbai. Mustafa, to you first. Good evening. Tell me, what's the situation currently in the city?
Good evening, Akshita. As of now, the rains have stopped at several parts. But since morning, if you take out about 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., there was about 100 mm rainfall in Daisar and Bayandar areas, which is Mumbai and nearby Mumbai area. Now the rains have stopped, but the BMC and other agencies are preparing that there can be heavy rains in the coming few days, and they are taking measures likely. It's been also advised to people to venture out only if necessary and go through the routes to say what changes can happen. Yes.
There's going to be more rain in the next few days. Saurabh, is the city prepared for another 4 to 5 days of similar level of rainfall, of 4 to 5 days of rain?
Well, actually, let me tell you that no pre-monsoon work is done clearly. The city is still in this state of apathy because even today, 2 people have lost their life in Goregaon and Malad. 38-year-old and 32-year-old people, men have lost their life after a tree fell on them. And not just in Mumbai, but in Thane, Nai Mumbai and other parts of the city, we clearly saw that how waterlogging have taken place, and over the past, no lessons learned. And therefore, again, this year now, the Shiv Sena in the opposition are targeting the government of BJP and Shinde, that how only 100 mm of rain and waterlogging is taking place. Earlier, during 200 and 300 mm of rain, waterlogging used to take place. But now, just with 100 mm of rain, Mumbai city and other outskirts are getting flooded.
Okay, we'll keep tracking the situation closely and alert all of you Mumbaikars watching this broadcast on what's the situation. Thanks, Saurabh and Mustafa, for getting us those updates. That's all we have time for in this edition of 6 p.m. Prime. Thanks for tuning in. Coming up on the other side is a sports special with Nikhil Nas.
इसके बारे में मैं सिर्फ यही कहना चाहता हूं कि इंटरेस्ट रेट जो है वो इन्फ्लेशन के साथ साथ चलता है। आपका जब इन्फ्लेशन रेट काबू में आ जाएगा, ड्यूरेबली जिसको हम कह रहे हैं कि ड्यूरेबल मॉडरेशन इन इन्फ्लेशन, मतलब ड्यूरेबल, हम जब ये मान लेंगे कि अभी इंटरेस्ट रेट जो है वो 4% के आसपास रहेगा कंटिन्यूइंग बेसिस पे, तो अब इंटरेस्ट रेट कम होना कम हो सकता है। तो इसीलिए इन्फ्लेशन और इंटरेस्ट रेट दोनों को इकट्ठे एनालाइज करना चाहिए। आज का जो इन्फ्लेशन है वो 4.25% है और हमारा एस्टिमेट ये है कि इस साल जो एवरेज इन्फ्लेशन है, इस साल मतलब 23-24 में जो एवरेज इन्फ्लेशन है, हमारा ये एस्टिमेट है कि वो 5.1 रहेगा। तो इसीलिए इन्फ्लेशन तो कम हुआ है। इन्फ्लेशन एक्सपेक्टेशन जिसको कहते हैं कंज्यूमर्स का और बिजनेसेस का, वो इन्फ्लेशन एक्सपेक्टेशन भी कम हो रहा है। इस साल का एवरेज 5.1, आगे जाके वो 5.1 को 4% तक लाने के लिए हम कोशिश करते रहेंगे। पिछले मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी के टाइम में तो मैंने कहा था 1,80,000, लेकिन वो स्टेडीली वापस आ रहे हैं नोट और 2/3 से ऊपर अभी हो गया है। हमने ये कहा था कि 3,62,000 3.62 लाख करोड़ 3,62,000 करोड़ 3,62,000 करोड़ रुपया 3,62 करोड़ रुपया 2,000 रुपया नोट सर्कुलेशन में था पिछले साल मार्च में। मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी में मैंने कहा कि 1,80,000 करोड़ के आसपास मैंने कहा था, वो वापस आ गया है। अभी जो है 2/3 मतलब अब आंकड़े लगा सकते हैं, उसके ऊपर उसको क्रॉस कर गया है। 2/3 अभी आ गए वापस। एक चीज मैं आपको बहुत साफ कह सकता हूं कि जो 2,000 रुपया का जो नोट अभी वापस ले रहे हैं, उसका इकोनॉमी के ऊपर कोई नेगेटिव इफेक्ट नहीं आएगा। चैलेंज ये रहेगा 2 या 3 चैलेंज। एक तो है इंटरनेशनल अनसर्टेनिटी, जो वॉर के कारण जो अनसर्टेनिटी मतलब इंटरनेशनली जो अभी अनसर्टेनिटी है, जियोपॉलिटिकल टेंशन जो कह रहे हैं जिसको, वो तो अभी कंटिन्यू कर रहा है, वो खत्म नहीं हुआ। उसका क्या फॉल आउट होगा, क्या स्पिल ओवर होगा बाकी देशों को, वो तो सिर्फ समय पे पता चलेगा कैसा वो इवॉल्व हो रहा है। बाकी जो अनसर्टेनिटी है वो एक तो है नॉर्मल मॉनसून है, लेकिन एक एल नीनो सिंड्रोम का जो है फोरकास्ट भी है। वो कितने हद तक एल नीनो सीवियर होता है उसको देखना पड़ेगा। और मेनली वेदर रिलेटेड इवेंट्स जिसका कि असर हमेशा वेजिटेबल प्राइसेस के ऊपर बहुत रहता है। तो ये सारे अनसर्टेनिटीज है और उसके साथ हमको डील करना पड़ेगा।
Why does this happen? Let me tell you the science behind it.
For more info,
Hello and welcome to our special broadcast where we're building up for the biggest prize in cricket, the Cricket World Cup, which is still about 3.5 months away. But ever since the World Cup schedule was announced a little more than 24 hours ago, the biggest talking point has been 15th of October, because that is going to be the day where India and Pakistan play. That game is scheduled to be played in Ahmedabad, and if you were to try to look for hotels in Ahmedabad, there's a good chance you won't find any. Even if you do, you're going to find it at 5x the cost. That's how much the demand is there for that India-Pakistan game. But, and there's a big but, that match is in danger.